Hello, and welcome to the 4th episode of Shrink the State Podcast. I'm Justin.
I'm Will.
I'm dead inside.
Did you say, and I'm gay inside?
And on the outside.
Oh, and on the outside.
But I just...
His name is James. And we are here again with all you beautiful people on this beautiful day, this wonderful evening, to talk about Canada. Our political parties. Isn't it an interesting thing? Because none of us have any idea what any of them believe. We got our beverages here today again. Let's do cheers. That was me cheering my own mugs. We got some coffee around the table. McDonald's coffee. How do you guys feel about it? It kind of sucks, am I right?
Well, since we use the Keurig to make it, yes.
Yeah, it seems like any coffee sucks unless it's actually at a cafe where they grind the beans there, make it fresh. I know a couple places in particular that I love. Anything from a Keurig machine seems to suck. I don't know if I'm just super picky because I used to work at a coffee place. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not sure. And it's McDonald's too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a Tim Hortons. And for those of you in the United States that are a little confused at this point, I'm not talking about our Prime Minister Tim Hortons. I'm actually talking about a donut shop called Tim Hortons. And it sells donuts and coffee. And they're really good coffee. Really good coffee.
America actually has Tim Hortons now.
Yeah, they've had it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
But they're all in the northern part of the United States. So like North Dakota, Montana, New York. You know, the places that Canadians visit. Because they probably go down there and they're like, oh, hey, bud, where's all the effing Timmies there, eh? I need to get some double in my tummy there, eh? I don't see any there, bud.
And coincidentally, they all have Newfie accents for some reason.
They all have Newfie accents, and they're all trying to go for a rip, are ya, bud?
Fun times.
Yep. All right.
Okay. So, we're going to be talking about political... Can you not? Awesome. I hope you die.
Okay, we're good.
It looks like it's...
Okay. Okay, so we're going to be talking about political parties today. We're going to be covering a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 political parties.
And that's the one thing that really separates Canada from America. Because obviously in America, you've got the Republicans and you've got the Democrats. Mm-hmm. That's about it. Obviously there are third-party people you can vote for. But come on. It's Republicans or Democrats. That's it. That's about it.
For those of you who don't get what we're doing,
oh my word, that looks so bad.
Slamming our mugs down on the table and making a beautiful melody just for you guys.
And I see those volume spikes all over the screen. It looks horrible.
It's just great.
That's okay. We have to do that sometimes.
Justin, the editor, will fix it.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about the top 5 political parties, I think.
Work for his pay.
For my pay, which is nothing, because I'm a slave.
Yes,
that's right.
I'm a slave to hard work and dedication.
Slavery is live and well and can't. No, it's kidding. It's not.
No.
But we're going to be talking about the Liberals first. I think the Liberal Party, the party that's currently in power with Justin Trudeau. Justin, how does it feel to have the same name as our Prime Minister?
There's probably some like communists that had your name too, so it's kind of like the same thing.
No. William,
I'm not calling you a communist, Justin. You're a nice guy.
I'm offended. You have offended. You've triggered me. I'm suing.
Well, I mean...
Okay, Trigglypuff.
What?
Don't worry about it.
That's me. I don't get why you keep calling him fat. It's me. I'm clearly the fat one here.
I don't know why I keep calling William fat. Have you never seen the Trigglypuff video? There's a video where there's like a bunch of people on... There's Steven Crowder, there's Milo Yiannopoulos, a couple other people on this panel, and they're all talking, and then
Stop slamming your mugs down.
Obviously,
the mic picks up every. Quit it.
They're all conservative, and they're all making their points, and then there's this. How do you describe her without offending people?
Gelatinous.
Let's just say if she were to walk down the street, you hear boom, 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 boom. And she's in the crowd, and she starts yelling, going, "Ah! This is toxic masculinity! Ah, the patriarchy! Ah!"
She did. It was insane. And by the way, I do want to make a correction. She wasn't in the crowd. She was the crowd.
Okay, so
She took up 3 rows.
Jigglypuff reminds me of something called Jigglypuff, which is a video game, and I'm pretty sure that's where it derived
That's where
from.
they got it from, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she got so triggered because of the talking points that they were making.
And she was jiggly, so, you know.
And she was
together.
jiggly.
Yeah, so
I think they said,
of the...
yeah, exactly.
And I can make fun of fat people because I'm fat, so... Now, the
I
guys
can
can't
make fun
say
of
anything
fat
against me.
people because I'm kind of mean.
Yeah, you are.
That just gives you
Okay.
a free pass. So, we can say the N-word because we're just mean.
That means we can insult anyone we want just because we're a mean bunch of
Obviously,
people.
we're all
It doesn't
joking.
matter, we're just mean.
I honestly joking. I hate all fat people the same. Okay.
Are we going to keep that in? I guess
Oh,
so.
100%.
Might as well.
Wonderful. All right. So the Liberal Party, guys. Any comments?
Yeah, I actually have some articles that they put out about what they want to do, eh?
Okay, for
And
sure.
what they
Eh?
stand for there, eh?
Well,
How about that, eh?
they have one about fighting climate change, and they say that this is on their site. They say that children born today aren't responsible for climate change, but they and their children are the ones that'll have to live with its consequences. From extreme weather, drought, and floods to increased disease. The bottom line is this: no country can solve this alone, nor can any province or territory. But our children and grandchildren will feel the consequences if we fail.
Sounds like the Green Party, actually.
And, you know, for those that believe in climate change, or man-made climate change, sorry, fair enough. So what do they actually propose to do about this? In the next article, it's called Pricing Carbon Pollution.
The carbon tax.
It's like a sustainable, clean growth economy is necessary for collective health and prosperity, both for today's families and for future generations. A sustainable, clean... This is what it says right off their site. It's a sustainable, clean growth... A sustainable, clean growth economy is necessary for our collective health and prosperity, both for today's families and for future generations, which I think a lot of people can agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is the part where it goes off the deep end. And that's why Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government have announced a pan-Canada approach, that means across Canada, for pricing carbon pollution. Starting in 2018, provinces and territories will have carbon pricing in place. Will either have a direct effect on will have a direct price on carbon pollution starting at $10 per ton, rising by $10 each year to $50 per ton in 2020, or they will have cap and trade, both with emissions cut in line with both Canada's target to the reduction expected in places without a direct price. So this is a vital step to grow our economy, protect our environment, and it will reduce the pollution that threatens our clean air and oceans and the health of Canadians, give Canada an edge in building a clean growth economy, make Canada businesses more innovative and competitive, and develop new and exciting opportunities for middle-class Canadians.
You can't see it right now, but I am slowly shaking my head.
Can I just say what a load of
That is so
Go
stupid.
ahead.
what a load of bullshit? Yeah,
No, it's all good. Like,
Because-
that is so stupid.
like it's like we have pollution problems. Okay, yeah. So what's your solution? Price the people out of using cars. Well, why didn't I think of that? Why shouldn't we be like Africa? Price people out of cars. That's what they're doing, and then they're like, it's going to give people an edge, and it's going to help create job opportunities for middle class Canadians. No, it's going to force them out of their vehicles. That is not helping the middle class Canada. That is making middle class Canada poor.
And doesn't Justin Trudeau have this whole spiel on how, the poor don't get taxed somehow? How does he even believe that?
I don't know.
So maybe it'll help the oceans, right? Maybe it'll help all that, but it will not give Canada an edge in businesses and
But is
innovative.
it proven that it will help the pollution?
Well, here's the thing: the majority of pollution doesn't come from us,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most of it comes from overseas.
Yeah.
So,
and it just comes onto our shores
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
from over the ocean.
So I mean, it might have some effect. I can't say it won't.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, even if it does, the idea here is price the people out of using their vehicles, and that is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's horrible.
What do you think the top reason is that the carbon tax is mainly inefficient?
Well, because if you want people are economically friendly by design. Like they naturally seem to choose the better options. If you allow people to have money, they might actually buy that hybrid and electric car. But if you price them out of it, they're not going to be able to afford it. I mean, I want them to be able to buy that hybrid and that electric car to help save the environment, regardless of whether or not I believe in climate change. But they're not going to have that money to spend if you price them that much. Like, was it $50 per ton? I mean, that's insane.
That's very interesting. So what else about the Liberal government? I think... Sorry?
How about this? Just a point as you find something there.
For sure.
The idea.
The idea.
The idea.
The idea.
The idea.
The idea.
Ideas.
Yeah, that's our Ben Shapiro impression.
Absolutely asinine.
Absolutely asinine.
So much ass.
The idea of identity politics, that it just completely consumed the Liberal Party in both Canada and America. The idea that you somehow belong to this group of people, you're grouped in this group, and doesn't matter what is said to you, you now say, that hurts me because of this. That's because I'm black. I believe this because I'm black. I believe this because I'm gay. I believe this because of the culture I grew up in. Why are they grouping themselves in this? Shouldn't we judge people not on the color of the skin, but the content of their character?
There's so
as
much...
Martin Luther said. It doesn't make sense. And like they keep saying too that there's just racism is just fluent everywhere. Like there's all this racism. Like, obviously, I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, but there's a distinct difference between individual cases of racism and the so-called institutional or systemic racism. Like, it's just completely consumed. Of course, I could go on about things like white privilege and we live in a racist society and all this stuff.
Well, isn't America more racist than Canada, allegedly? And isn't this racist America the one that elected a black person for president?
I mean, they had a black president, they had a black attorney general.
Good point.
There are lots of black people in their state, and if you actually look at it, it's actually skewed. It's actually, because you look at it, I don't understand about like diversity and all these things. Okay, if someone's making a movie, they want it to look more diverse, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. You can do that. It's totally cool. Because obviously at the end of the day, if you see someone of your culture there, you're like, hey, what want to be? That's cool. But it's different than saying, as Justin Trudeau did, I'm gonna have to double check exactly where it is that the exact institution it is that he's working in, but he made the place of where he works 50% women and 50% men to look more diverse. The thing is, if I'm running a business, as an example, and I need to hire 100 people, I'm not gonna hire, if this were the exact stats, I'm not gonna hire 65 white people. I'm not going to hire 6% black people, 8% Asian, 3% Muslim, to make sure I get everyone exactly diverse. And actually, that's not even what they're pushing. They're pushing exact equal amounts. Yeah. So it'd be like 10% white, 10% black, 10% every single culture.
That's what the BBC is doing too.
That's what they're trying to do. Yeah. And it's like, okay, no. If I'm running a business and I want it to be the most successful, I have to hire 100 people. I'm hiring the 100 best people for that position. If all of them are black, if all of them are gay, if half of them are white, I don't care. I don't care if you're a kangaroo. Okay, that's weird, but I want the top 10 best people suited for that job. I don't care, because if I'm choosing people based on their skin color, first of all, that's racist. If I'm just hiring people based on the content of I'm basing them on their skin color or gender identity or something like that, or which religion they believe, I think that's racist.
Well, and
I think that people make such a big deal out of race specifically. If it's just a genetic random difference, like the color of your eyes or the color of your hair, if that's all it is, just a genetic difference, why are we so obsessed with it?
And being gay, why are we so obsessed with gay people? I mean, isn't that kind of something that should be reserved for gay people? I mean, come on. Are we proud of having blonde eyes and blue hair? Like, I don't have that.
To quote Gavin McInnes, I don't care where your dink goes.
And for those of you that don't know what dink means, never mind.
See, here's the thing. Do you really think that there's a bunch of people rampant in Canada or America right now that are willing to not hire a bunch of very eligible, very, what's the word for it, talented people, like just really good accountants, just because of the color of their skin?
Well,
really?
yes, if they're
they're
white.
going to deny themselves that asset just
they're
because
white.
they're black.
Well,
I want to quote something.
They're white.
This
hiring quotas are anti-white.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And I want to say this too.
Hire them because he's black.
This liberal
That's racist.
This liberal MP in Canada told Maxime Bernier, he said, "To suggest that systemic racism does not exist makes me question your ability to investigate stories of the Canadian experience without bias." And then he also told him to check his privilege and be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He told
What's his
Maxime
name?
Bernier that. Cesar Chavez.
Okay, Cesar Chavez. I am a gay person. I grew up in a poor family. I had a devastating backstory. And so I know all about... I'm the least privileged person out there at the moment. And least privileged person in this room. And what's his name again?
But you're white.
What's his name?
His name is Cesar Chavez.
So as a disprivileged person, I just want to say, for the rest of us disprivileged person, from us to you, screw you. Screw you.
Okay. Well, I think the least privileged person in their eyes would have to be a handicapped black woman that was homosexual.
Give me 2 weeks and I can manage that.
No one would be more or less privileged? A Jewish nigger faggot retard. We'll cut that
That's
out.
getting cut out.
All right, so another what liberals say is they say take action to fight climate change, which is, they say after 10 years of inaction under Stephen Harper, Andrew Scheer's Conservatives still have no plan to confront climate change. He's been promising a plan for months, but Canadians are still waiting. Here's the thing. There's no plan to fight climate change because there is nothing we can do about climate change without royally screwing ourselves over. Like, the best thing we can do is just wait, allow people to gain money, and allow them to choose options that are good for the environment.
Yeah, let the market innovate new ideas that are eco-friendly. There's a big market for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the article continues. Climate action can't wait. This is why Justin Trudeau and the Liberal team have a real plan to fight climate change while growing our economy, and it's working for Canadians.
Is it?
Sorry, I'm just stopping there. It's working for Canadians. Yeah, sure. Yellow vests protesting across Canada are going to tell you a different story. So, good middle-class jobs are being created for Canadians while implementing a made-in-Canada plan to reduce emissions. What does jobs have to do with emissions? I'm sorry. Putting a price on pollution across Canada. So how is that? You know what happens when transportation for businesses are priced? It reduces businesses. Mm-hmm. These businesses can no longer afford their transportation costs that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So how is...
Yeah. And honestly, we could go on and on about the Liberal Party, at least here in Canada. And we say this. We want to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, we're going to have our own biases, clearly.
Sure.
We want to, like we said in that first podcast, our goal at the end of the day is to seek the truth wherever we find it. I believe that morally, I believe that politically. That should be the goal, is to find the truth.
For sure.
And I think, once again, the left, the liberal, just keeps displaying these things that make me just confirm my beliefs. Like, the limits on freedom of speech in Canada. That was not proposed by the Conservative Party, the right wing. It was all the liberal.
For sure.
Obviously, the two laws that we talked about, I think, in the second podcast, like, that's just one of the examples. There's tons more out there, but
I would like to touch base a little bit on what was the Liberals' stand on immigration rights?
Oh, well, they wanted to sign the UN Migration Pact, which will put in millions of immigrants over here, and over
millions
over a period of 5 years, and then give them the right to vote instantly.
So
why do we think that's dangerous?
Well, first I want to say this. Okay, obviously, completely a theory, but come on, there's strong
game theory.
Exactly, a game theory. But come on, there's pretty strong evidence to suggest this is true. So, who is giving all the immigrants all these social programs? The Liberals. Who is letting tons of them come in at a time? The Liberals. And who is giving them the right to instantly vote? The Liberals. So, is Justin Trudeau not just buying voters?
I think so.
Definitely. And there's a couple of things here I do want to touch on real quick. Another one of their things is legalizing and strictly regulating marijuana. I do want to say those two things are very different. You cannot legalize a substance while strongly regulating a substance. It's not legal.
It's more expensive, and there's more fines now than there was before.
And here's the proud guys saying
it's insanely expensive.
Yeah,
to buy it.
It went up triple the price from the black market easily. It says we did it. The Liberal government has moved forward a smart plan to legalize and strictly regulate marijuana. It's a promise kept, and we are following through on bold commitments that will help protect our kids and communities and take profits away from criminals. It's a failure. It's a failure. Yeah. It's a failure because no one's wants to pay triple the price for drugs.
It's ridiculous. They didn't open it up to the market. They didn't open up marijuana to the market. They're letting the government sell it to make more money. The idea that it was legalized is absolutely absurd.
It's not legalized. It's not legalizing something.
Well,
that's what I mean. It's absurd.
Technically, because you can now buy it without being
off
arrested
the government
at the right place. But that's
only
it.
The government.
It's
not really legalizing. That's
not really.
It's saying you buy from us or you go to jail.
And the idea that
high fine.
And the idea that we're gonna have tons and tons and millions of immigrants come in over the course of a few years, give them tons of money through social incentives, and have them vote right away without any backlash or any economic consequences is just asinine.
And obviously, I'm not against immigration.
No.
I'm not against it at all. But I have a problem when we start, like you said, millions and millions of immigrants start coming in. It's like, okay, now how are we going to control these numbers, right? Because even in America, there was a point where they let in tons and tons of immigrants. Then they closed their gates for a while and said, okay, let's develop now. Let's make sure that we're all on the same page. And then they open their gates again, and they haven't closed since. And now it's getting to the point to where they can't control their numbers, and they're having problems with illegal immigration.
Well, in Europe and Sweden, it's developed into no-go zones, where the Muslims are implementing Sharia law. Cops can't come in. They control everything. It's horrible.
It can be mafia run.
Yeah, and I think last time I checked the debt clock for Canada, it was over $1 trillion now. It's ridiculous.
So, and
why are you gay?
Big pause.
Because I like.
Men.
So what was it? All right. So my stance on immigration is a little divisive, perhaps. I think that look, if the government should be treated the same way as we would treat individuals. So we have a person, anonymous person, call him Bob. If Bob was struggling financially and gay, would you rather have him? Should he be handing out money to homeless people? Should he be contributing to charity, or should he get his house in order, work on fixing himself up, and then go out and help people?
As Jordan Peterson says, clean your room.
Right.
Clean your room first, then worry about the rest of the world.
For sure.
Take the plank out of your own eye before you go take the, you know what I mean, the
log out of someone else's.
The thread out of your own eye, out of their eye. Don't quote me on that. Yikes! I don't even know my own scriptures.
Yeah. Okay, and for sure, and to get back to what you were saying earlier, though, Justin, like 100%, we all love immigrants. Okay, some of my best friends are immigrants, and I wouldn't want them to see any of them deported for sure. But we definitely just can't. But to close it off, we cannot expect no backlash whatsoever if we're allowing this many people in and giving them this much money without giving anyone a chance to assimilate.
Well, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Something that you talked about.
Okay.
These people that have come in here, do they have Canadian values?
No, we should kill them.
Do they have Canadian values?
We'll cut that out. Ask it again?
Do these people, these immigrants that have come here, you've worked with a lot of them, do they have Canadian values?
You know what? Some of them are open to it, but a lot of my friends aren't open to the idea of Canadian values. They talk about how we have too much freedom. They've talked a little bit about collectivism. Like, all right, just to give an example, all this is completely anecdotal, okay? I'm just giving that announcement right now.
The word is anecdotal.
Sorry, apparently cannot pronounce words correctly.
Number 3.
Okay, so I have a friend who's from an area around India. I'm not gonna. Okay, fine. She's from Nepal, and she's Hindu, and we're having a very interesting discussion on religion. And I asked, why do you think? She said, "Oh, son of a gun! I cannot articulate my words."
You also said disgusting instead of discussion.
Okay, I'll start from the beginning. So, I have a friend that's from Nepal, and she's Hindu. And me and her were having a very interesting discussion on religion. And her argument of why you should never change your religion is that if you change your religion from what your family is, then it's disrespectful to your family. And that's why you should never change your religion. I disagree. It's disrespectful to your family to have freedom of opinion, freedom of thought. That doesn't make any sense. That's what collectivism is. And so, obviously, not every immigrant is like that. And some of them, of course, try to assimilate and have Canadian values. But a lot of them that are my friends don't. And that's concerning if we're going to let in millions and millions more. And these are like Islamic.
Yeah, Islamic people.
And Sikh. We're not just talking about Islam.
No, but no.
Okay. Anyway.
We're totally not dancing around the subject to avoid car bombs.
We're definitely not.
We love you, Islam. We love you.
Please don't kill us with a suicide bomber.
Although if you do pick
That's
William,
all getting cut out.
If you do pick William.
Don't pick me, please. I don't want to die.
It's kind of funny.
Hold on.
And if we let in millions of immigrants in the course of a few years and give them all the right to vote instantly, our culture is going to dramatically shift. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Japan. Everyone loves Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think a lot of people here really appreciate Japan and Canada. Like, there's a lot of nerds and stuff, but I like Japan personally.
Yeah, it's
so
cool
what would
culture.
happen if we just sent millions of Americans to Japan? What would happen to Japan?
Their culture would shift.
Their culture would change. It would no longer be Japan. It would be America.
Pretty much.
And we don't want America in Japan. We want Japan in Japan because it's Japan, and we
That's
like
a cool
that.
culture.
It's a cool culture. It's a great culture.
Right.
It's amazing. But we don't want it to become America. We don't. Even though we like America too. Like we've talked about how much we like America. We don't want Japan turning into America.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think that's a good point. And I think, I will say, we can get into a lot when it comes to the Liberal Party, specifically in Canada.
Oh.
They can go to tons and tons of
I don't
points.
want to talk about,
Sure. Is there one more thing you want to mention?
Oh, yeah. That liberals have this article that's to support women's rights.
Pikachu.
And I'm fully for women's rights. I think you guys have done a great job, and you already have your rights. So what are you talking about? But what they say here is that our message is clear. Women's rights are human rights. I agree with that too.
Yep, me too.
We understand that women unequivocally have the right to decide what to do with their bodies, and we are always going to stand up for that right, regardless of what the conservatives think or say. So, how many people in the room actually like abortion?
We're all
Cricket,
incredibly
cricket.
biased against it.
We're not biased.
My point is that
We know the truth because we're scientists.
calling abortion women's rights is just incredibly misleading, and it's a straw man.
It's a very easy argument to
It's
break.
misleading.
If it's actually your body, it needs to have these things: your heart, your brain, your DNA, your blood type. It has none of those things. A normal human being does not have 2 hearts, 4 legs, 4 eyes, and 2 DNAs and 2 blood types. No, it's not your body. It's preoccupied in it.
Regardless,
It's not your body.
I do understand that there are people that will disagree with, but my point is that the liberals.
But I think like a
support
woman
that.
has the right to her own body. If you want to remove your arm, you can remove your arm. I don't care. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. But as soon as you start threatening someone else's life, that's a different story. But I think we can get into that in another podcast.
Oh yeah,
That's
we
another
can make
whole argument
abortion a whole episode.
Look at this.
Easily.
Liberals are advertising that they will have lower taxes for small businesses and tax fairness for a middle class, when they were just talking about carbon tax.
Interesting.
Just saying.
Exactly. Like we can break this down more.
But yeah, that's
with
what
each different thing that they believe, because that'll be another whole argument. But I
Mm-hmm.
think now we want to
Yeah,
just
play
touch
over
base
someone
on the Conservative Party here in Canada, or as they call it, the Progressive Conservative Party, which is an oxymoron because progressive means you're gradually getting better. Conservatism is usually sticking within your beliefs, and it's usually like limited, very thought out change is what they try to say it is.
Our conservatives, in my opinion, are very liberal.
In Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're called PC, Progressive Conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think the PC doesn't stand for Progressive Conservatives. It stands for Pussy Conservatives. But that's just me.
Interesting.
These are conservatives that do not have the stones to say conservative things and do conservative things because they're afraid of what people will say.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? When it comes to the
But
conservatives,
that's all me. They didn't say that. That's all on me.
don't worry, James, we're cutting it.
Yeah, we're good. See, okay. Sorry, can you pause it for a second? Wait, split second.
I can. I can actually.
Yeah, so then I was gonna look at some of these conservative views, and those of you listening out there that might be from America, we do think that the Conservative Party in Canada is different than the Conservative Party in America. Honestly, they say that they're for small government, but they're still big government. The Conservative Party here in Canada, the Progressive Conservatives, and I will say there are things that I do appreciate about of the Conservatives, like as they say, the tolerant right. They seem to want to hear people out, have civilized discussions. There are some people that are liberal that are doing that. Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, Joe Rogan as examples. They're all classical liberals, but they're, how do you explain it? They're not far left. They're reasonable. They're willing to have discussions. I have noticed that there's a trend with, obviously not all conservatives, but lots of conservatives tend to be more open to that because they seem to be more for the freedom of speech. Anyways, I want to kind of say some of the things that the Conservative Party believes in. I just have it here. I have their thing here on their website, the Conservative Party of Canada. They believe that. Hold on, I'm a pause. Yeah, so these are some of the policy declarations that the Conservative Party in Canada has made. They're trying to decentralization, Canadian federalism, the right to own property, income tax reductions. They're opposing the carbon tax that the Liberals have put in. They say they're for free trade, for public pensions. They say no to reopening the abortion debate. That is actually something that is in one of their policies, which I just read now, which is interesting. But it does say they're going to try to exclude abortion funding from foreign aid. This says they're for Zionism, bilingualism. They got quite a bit down here, prohibiting assisted suicide, business tax reductions. I mean, I think we all kind of have things that we agree with in their party, and then definitely things that we disagree with.
Yes.
Well, I think that they're the typical conservative party. Well, because they're just, to me, conservatives and liberals are two sides of the same coin. One side wants taxes, the other side wants tariffs. One side wants government to help control this, the other side wants government to control that. Here, just over here, on Promise 2024 of their 2015 election plan, they want to establish a $100 million manufacturing technology demonstration fund for large-scale cutting-edge manufacturing projects. At a baseline of $100 million per year. They want to enhance to a $2,500 claim and extend the apprenticeship job creation credit. They want to provide up to 20,000 loans over the next 4 years to help Canadians. They want to
I love giving away money.
Implement the $100 million automotive supplier innovation program, roll out the $200 million advanced manufacturing fund. They want to, where's the more money? Implement the $1.5 million Canada First Excellence Fund, provide $1.33 billion over 6 years for the Canadian Foundation for Innovation, increase funding for the Agri Innovation Program by $100 million over 3 years. I mean, I could go on and on. My point is, these guys don't want small government.
No.
They don't want to reduce government. They want to throw all their money at corporations.
I don't get it. Why do they want to give away like about 20,000 loans? Why can't private companies like loan sharks do that? Why is the government giving away the money? I don't want my hard-earned tax dollars to go towards loaning money to people. Although they might start a business with it, there are private companies that'll do that. I don't want to give away my money for that. I want if they just blow it.
Yeah.
That's not small government. They say small government, and to a point, they're smaller than what the Liberals are saying. But they're not for small government. What do they call small government? There's a lot of involvement here.
And over the years, both Liberals and Conservatives have been voted in, and it varies, but bloated government has been increasing. It's been on the rise constantly, consistently. Neither of them change, even though they all say they're going to improve the economy. Well, actually, Harper did a half-decent job, if I do say so myself. But still, bloated government, tariffs, taxes, either or. Like, we don't have it. Like, PPC is the only real libertarian party that's talking about tricking government right now.
Well, besides the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, but they suck.
Here's the difference between a liberal and a conservative, okay? I'm not going to say anything. A liberal A liberal wants tax increase on the rich, and they want social programs for the poor. The conservatives want tariffs, and they want tax increases to help corporations and companies. Those are the difference between a conservative and a liberal. It's neither of them are for small government. They're just for a different allocation of government resources, whether it's going to the poor or whether it's going to the corporations. It's still the same thing.
I agree with that.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Some fundamental differences, some ideology differences.
Yeah, some moral differences.
But actually, you mentioned the PPC. Why don't we bring that up?
Alrighty, and that will be the end of part 1 of Political Parties of Canada for all you YouTube listeners out there. Click on the link in the description to take you to the next video, part 2 of Political Parties of Canada. And be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and click on that notification bell to continue receiving, that's a Williamism right there, receiving notifications of new videos of Shrink the State podcast. Thanks. Bye.